Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. I see today's parents as terrified by their children, not least because they have been deemed the proximal agents of this hypothetical social tyranny and simultaneously denied credit for their role as benevolent and necessary agents of discipline, order, and conventionality. Some localize all problems in the adult, whether in the parent or broader society. There are no bad children, such people think, only bad parents. It's too one-sided in the case of parents granted particularly difficult son or daughter. This has increased parental sensitivity to the short-term emotional suffering of their children, while heightening their fear of damaging their children to a painful and counterproductive degree. The vital process of socialization prevents much harm and fosters much good. Children must be shaped and informed or they cannot thrive. This fact is reflected starkly in their behavior. Kids are utterly desperate for attention. Modern parents are simply paralyzed by the fear that they will no longer be liked or even loved by their children if they chastise them for any reason. They want their children's friendship above all and are willing to sacrifice respect to get it. This is not good. A child will have many friends but only two parents, if that, and parents are more, not less than friends. Friends have very limited authority to correct. Parents are the arbiters of society. They teach children how to behave so that other people will be able to interact meaningfully and productively with them. It is an act of responsibility to discipline a child. It is not anger at misbehavior. It is not revenge for a misdeed. It is instead a careful combination of mercy and long-term judgment. Modern parents are terrified of two frequently juxtaposed words, discipline and punish. They evoke images of prisons, soldiers, and jackboots. The fear is unsurprising, but both are necessary. Discipline and punish must be handled with care. The fundamental moral question is not how to shelter children completely from misadventure and failure so they never experience any fear or pain, but how to maximize their learning so that useful knowledge may be gained with minimal cost. Every child should also be taught to comply gracefully with the expectations of civil society. This does not mean crushed into mindless ideological conformity. It means instead that parents must reward those attitudes and actions that will bring their child success in the world outside the family, and use threat and punishment when necessary to eliminate behaviors that will lead to misery and failure. Here's a straightforward initial idea. Rules should not be multiplied beyond necessity. Don't encumber children with too many rules. That path leads to frustration. Limit the rules. The second, use the least force necessary to enforce those rules. This must be established experimentally, starting with the smallest possible intervention. Here is the third. Parents should come in pairs. Raising young children is demanding and exhausting. Because of this, it's easy for a parent to make a mistake. Under such circumstances, it's necessary to have someone else around to observe and step in and discuss. Here is the fourth principle, one that is more particularly psychological. Parents should understand their own capacity to be harsh, vengeful, arrogant, resentful, angry, and deceitful. Parents have a duty to act as proxies for the real world. Merciful proxies, caring proxies, but proxies nonetheless. Having clarified your stance, having assessed yourself for pettiness, arrogance, and resentment, you take the next step and you make your children behave. You take responsibility for their discipline. Clear rules make for secure children and calm, rational parents. Clear principles of discipline and punishment balance mercy and justice so that social development and psychological maturity can be optimally promoted. There are no greater gifts that a committed and courageous parent can bestow.